Andrew Tate's back home, and he's already stirring up crap on Twitter. Now, before, when he was tweeting and stuff, I really didn't believe that Andrew was tweeting, because of course he was in jail, and I guess his cousin Luke or someone else was tweeting for him the entire time while he was away. But this tweet I believe Andrew made. So Andrew Tate said this. He said, "Imagine living in Chicago on purpose by choice. Seriously, imagine being a full-grown adult and waking up in Chicago, looking at the entire globe, then looking around you at the you reside in and saying, yes, I want to live here. Clown emoji, clown emoji, clown emoji, clown emoji, clown emoji, clown emoji, and then one final clown emoji. What the fuck?" After tweeting this, thousands of people from Chicago replied something along the lines of, "Shut up. You wouldn't last a day here without getting shot or robbed," as some sort of defense. Kind of proves my point, doesn't it? So we agree that Chicago was a crime-ridden dump. Now, in case you guys didn't know, a bunch of teenagers were running up and down Chicago last night, unfortunately most of them from the black community, destroying cars, destroying property. I think like 30 teenagers beat up some random woman in the street. It's bad. It's absolutely horrible. But Andrew Tate actually pointed something out. Now, what he really pointed out that I liked is the fact that he said after he tweeted that, thousands of people from Chicago replied to him saying, "Shut up, you wouldn't last a day here without getting shot or robbed," as some sort of defense. We got to talk about how some people in the black community perceive living in a violent, uncivilized community or area as cool. I remember I was on TikTok scrolling around, right? And there was this guy saying top 5 dangerous cities in Georgia, and he ranked them. And there's mad black folk in the comments section, and black folk, we got to do better, bro, because this is just this. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was a bunch of black folk in the comments section arguing over which city should be ranked the highest for gun violence. And this nigga sitting there talking about we be stepping and making, man, niggas get busy, and I'm like, y'all are really arguing over which city is the most deadly, as if women and children aren't struggling to live peaceful lives in these communities because folk are killing each other over stupid shit. This is really like, you got niggas calling shit Kill Award, calling shit Philadelphia, Milwaukee. It's like, this is cool? It's cool to live in a place where nobody can live in peace and folk are getting shot and killed and robbed and stabbed and fucked up? That's cool. You're proud to be from a place that's crime-ridden. You're proud to sit there and argue back and forth about where your city should be ranked in the crime statistics. Man, I was hoping to God that Atlanta will be ranked the lowest when I saw that shit. I'm like, Lord, please, please, please don't put us up there, Lord, please. I don't derive any pride from living in a violent area. I feel like it says a lot about your community when you live in a place that's peaceful. It says a lot about the people living in it. See, a lot of people in the black community think that if a neighborhood is peaceful, the people there are soft or punks or lames or this and the third. Nah, these people just know how to get along. If there's a problem, they probably solve it amongst one another. And if it becomes big enough, they involve the police and solve the problem with the police. There is nothing wrong with living in a peaceful neighborhood. It doesn't matter if you live in a peaceful suburban neighborhood, a peaceful government project, a peaceful affluent neighborhood. It doesn't matter where you live in terms of your financial situation. If you live in a peaceful neighborhood, that is something to be proud of. And I'm speaking specifically to black people because so many of us, for some reason, have been like duped and conned into being ashamed of not coming from a violent background. Or for some reason, a lot of us want to be proud of coming from a violent background. It's one thing to be proud of the fact that you went through that and came out unscathed. Or maybe you didn't come out unscathed, but you managed to come out a better person. You came out a good human being. You came out a law-abiding citizen, and you succeeded in spite of the odds. In spite of the effects of systematic racism and systematic oppression, in spite of other people in your community trying to hold you down with gang violence, street violence, bullshit, you managed to overcome that. That's something to be proud of. But to be sitting there proud of the fact that your city get busy and we do this and we do that, like, that's cool to you? Robbing and killing and murdering folk, and Andrew Tate's got a point. You got dudes sitting there telling Andrew Tate, shut up, you wouldn't last a day here without getting robbed or shot. Like, that's cool. A nigga criticize your city and the first thing you say is, we gonna rob you and kill you? If a nigga talks shit about my city, I'm like, you know what, bro? I'm sorry you feel that way. If you ever come in, you know what I'm saying? Link up, let's talk, let's, you know what I'm saying? I can show you here, I can show you there. Like hospitality. There is nothing wrong with just being civil. There is nothing pussy, lame, bitch made, sucker about being the type of person to prioritize order and stability over chaos. Ain't nothing wrong with it. It's more masculine to me for the men of a community to facilitate a safe environment than it is for the men of a community to create an unsafe environment. It's more of it's a sign of masculinity, responsibility, leadership for the group of men of a community to prioritize safety and stability over chaos. That's tough. That's real nigga shit. Taking care of your community. Because taking care of your community is an extension of taking care of your family. If you're taking care of your kids and your wife and you're looking after that which you've created, your household, that branches out into your community. But as you know, it's unfortunate that we as black folk take so much pride in living in the worst possible conditions. It's niggas sitting there really bragging about the fact that their city is a shithole, that their city is a hub of crime and violence. How is that cool? How is that fly? Like at some point, we gotta grow out of that. We've all been there as young black men, admiring street shit, admiring hood shit, whether we came from the streets or not. Most of us grew up admiring some of this shit. If you're honest, I know some niggas gonna sit there and act like they never did, but most of us grew up thinking that shit was cool. You know, and if you were lucky enough, blessed enough, you grew out of it. Some of us aren't fortunate and lucky enough to grow out of it. Some of us lose our lives. Some of us get tangled into it. But we all got to agree at some point that it is unbelievably unacceptable for us to be cultivating this culture of having this admiration for gang violence and street violence. This shit is weird. Shit is weird. And then niggas sit there talking about white privilege. Like, why not give other black people the privilege of just living in peace, of just chilling, of having a safe place to go to? Isn't it weird that we have to like if you don't live in Atlanta or Texas, you basically, if you want to live somewhere around, if you don't live in the South, excluding Florida, if you don't live in the South, the idea of living in a safe neighborhood means you have to pack your shit and move to a white neighborhood. If you don't live in the American South, being black and trying to live in a safe neighborhood, that means you got to go live around people that don't look like you. And there's nothing wrong with white people or Asian people or any other group of affluent people in America, but it would be nice if you could just live around people who look like you and not have to pack your shit and move all the way across the city. I think we could all agree on that. So ultimately, like, niggas bragging about the fact that, you know, their community is a fucking war zone is crazy to me. But this has been a constant theme in the black community, and it's crazy that Andrew Tate, of all people, has to be the one to call this shit out. But it is what it is. It is what it fucking is. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.